It's inherent in the system. Shut up! Oh, come and see the violence inherent in the system! Help! Help! I'm being repressed! Bloody peasant! Oh, what a giveaway. Did you hear that? Did you hear that, eh? That's what I'm on about. Do you see him repressing me? You saw...
Hey, it's Patricia Ann Landon. Regalia. She's the flower coming at you from the fallacy of what should be a private entrance somewhere on the A Truman Show, coming at you from the World Wide Web and the dark and otherwise. At the time of this recording, it is Sunday, August 11th, 2024. So, we're moving, we're rolling, we're grooving along the way on the Lionsgate portal time frame. So, hopefully, it's been a good one for you guys. Me, I tell you what, I have a clear conscience, and I'm so proud of that. And one of the many benefits and rewards of incidental rewards of having a clear conscience is that I sleep like a baby. I don't have running thoughts. I'm not riddled with guilt. And I know that I have done the best of my ability in every given situation. And where I fell short of, I have come to recognize that and amend it in my own self. Because what we do to somebody else, we actually do to ourselves. So, you know, like that, The Simpsons, stop hitting yourself, stop hitting yourself, stop hitting yourself. Well, it's kind of like this. Whenever you speak ill of somebody, whenever you pass on character assassination, gossip, or slander, you basically release those energetic components into your own life. So I like how Austria 5D, shout out to you, my queen, if you ever see this, has stated it. It's like, meanwhile, while the opposition is throwing all of these orchestrations against somebody in the shadows, like coward hyenas, what they're really doing is that they're doing it to themselves further on down the line. So basically, they're setting themselves up with road blockages that impact their own quality of life. So, but, you know, it's all energetic components. But, you know, speaking in terms of character assassination and slander, when you do that to somebody, you better be on point that information is true. And even if the information is true, that's not for you to spread. That's not for you to wallow in like swine with mud. So, but whatever, swine will do what swine does, which is wallow in mud. But when you do that, you are making accommodations for yourself in your life to take on the components of said gossip and slander. So one of the very, how can you say, vindictive, lowbrow, trashy orchestrations in my life that Tim Regali, my ex-husband, and his Norman Bates of a mother, crusty cunt, Barbara Christine Lyles Regali, and with my psychotic ex-father-in-law. I'm just surprised you really haven't just done yourself in by now, Paul. Because he had problems with suicidal ideation. And I'm all like, you really would have saved the face of the earth if you had just done it, gotten over with. That way at least you would have had some kind of positive memory to your accolade. But anyways, that's Paul Douglas Regali. And then I have Marcella Maria Landon Kaminsky. And Dawn Snake Renee Barber. And yeah, there are others there. But this is my Houston family. And any other family that I may have missed, that may have been entertaining gossip and slander on me without even addressing it to me, and especially participating in all of this gang stalking, all of this defilement of somebody's life, you do realize you're pissing away our constitutional civil rights. You do realize that, right? And you do realize you're fucking over your children's generation right now. You do get that, right? How much money was thrown at you to be psychos? You might want to fix that. But one of the orchestrations they had done was to hire Jeff Weed, who had, these are my allegations, who had been positive with HIV, and they tried to infect me with it. Well, it didn't work. I got tested and everything, and I have a clean bill of health. And my sweet little poom poom has been put on a shelf ever since. I'm celibate. So, but here's the thing. They went and they ran with it and told everybody, whoever their everybody is, other coven members, that I had HIV. Now, let me tell you something. For people participating in slander and gossip, you welcome that into your own lives. And speaking of which, all of these covens are riddled with HIV. So if you have, and plus their demonic possessions with the incubus, succubus, and all of that, it's fine if you don't want to believe it. That's okay. But at the end of this timeline, is that they're sexual addicts. And their sexual addicts spills over into their magic making with sexual practices of deviancy. So, yeah, they'll fuck their own pets, their own dogs. They partake in bestiality. And then, of course, their main ingredient in their secret sauce is child molestation. And of course, within the context of all of that cesspool, that Nazi cesspool that it is, because the macrocosm is Nazi in origin, look it up. And down to the microcosm, which is RICO crimes of organized crimes. The cesspool covers human trafficking and killing. I mean, look at the murderer of Sonia Massey, God rest her soul. He needs remediation in the 5D. What? It is my belief, my speculation, that man is part of your gang stalking police department. If you go back and watch the video of her killing, in the background, as soon as she opens the door to start conversations with this man, you can hear the noise campaign go off in the background. Up until that point, it's silent. But nonetheless, so whenever these people were making all of these accusations on me, I was treated like a pariah everywhere I went. And so it's like all of you people participating in all of the gossip and the slander on somebody, in your treason faction of the government. You're being lied to, by the way. You're being exploited. Some of you guys know it, have no problems with it. Some of you don't know it, should wake up and get a clue. Visit targetedjustice.com. I'm no affiliate. I'm just a grateful recipient of their resources. And let your research blossom and bloom from there. But be very mindful of participating in all of this wayward Nazi cesspool. Because whenever you propagate all this gossip and slander, you open yourself up for each thing that you gossiped about. So all of those family members of mine back in Houston and otherwise that have been propagating any shade of gossip on me behind my back, you welcomed that accusation right into your life, right into your dinner table. Because as it is, you have welcomed Satan himself by symbolization of all lower vibing, horrible, energetic manipulations and entities right into your pocket and right into your food. Because If you're gang stalking somebody, how do you know you're not going to choke on the food that you bought with that gang stalking money? How do you know you're not going to get into a horrible, mangulated motor vehicle collision with the money that you used to buy said vehicle? And if you use it to go on vacation, how do you know you're not going to end up with a horrible accident somewhere because you used cursed money and you participated in cursing those? Now you have to live with the curses that you had hobnobbed with. I mean, you go to get your clown college training from your clown college murdering coach that tells you what to do for your PSYOP assignments just to aggravate and downgrade the quality of life of somebody. You energetically placed yourself in position for that happening to you. But I want to say this to the rest of the populace. This is where I'm not about turning the other cheek. I am about moving forward strategically, with strategy, with awareness. And hopefully, whenever you try to make a move forward, you can move with love. That's a walk and a journey in of itself. But what happens is that whenever all of these infractions that are slighted against you, the offending person creates a negative debt in the esoteric balances of the world. So whenever they throw out a bunch of negative toxicity, they build that up for themselves. But here's the secret sauce you really don't hear about, is that if you want them to taste what you tasted, feel what you felt, and there's no harm and shame in that, because it's kind of like, unless you deal with your karma, how are you ever going to learn to stop? So, but the secret sauce to it is to disengage any emotional attachment to that situation, to that offense, to that person, to that place, to just detach. And then so all of your energetic emotions that are reciprocated from that, this is where you give it to God. And you don't have to give it to God if you're an atheist. This doesn't exempt you. Give it to the universe. Because whenever you forgive, it's not to say you're permissive. It is to say that you are releasing yourself and releasing them from any negative ill will. And then so, but whenever I pray for somebody, I always put God's perfect will in place first, because it's kind of like a prophylaxis. Like, okay, I might pray for you, but I'm not going to pray for you to get out of your karma. I pray God's perfect will first. And if it's His will that you eat your karma, I'm like, well, you're going to have to eat your karma. But I still pray for you. So that way, hopefully, your karma can work for you instead of against you. So that you're in it to learn, you're in it to grow, you're in it to move and evolve. And then so, but I always wash my hands of it and then pray. I soup it up with 10,000 on that retention sender. Tenfold, 10,000-fold sometimes. I mean, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But, you know, and full endorsement of karma in love. And then so, I mean, the love part, you know, may take some time to get there, but that's the part of the walk. That's part of the curriculum of coming into Earth for an incarnation at all. And then so, but whenever I give it to the universe, give it to God, you know, you can actually schedule your cry session. I mean, if you got to hold it in, hold it in. But then whenever you know you get home at 5 o'clock and then you're done eating by 7, that might be a good time for you to really mull it over and give it to God and cry it out, you know, but kind of hold your discipline in place until that point. And then so, but that's what I consider giving it to God. Now, so when you do that, here's the deal. Esoterically, you haven't taken command of their energy. Because when you take command, you stifle their karma. Because when you take command at that energy they threw at you, and then, come back with retribution from your own volition, you have assumed your part of this conflict. But if you want to release yourself off the conflict and give it to God, that's what it means to give it to God, or give it to the universe. It's like you say, I trust you. I'm going to walk in faith. I'm going to do my best to walk in love. And I let you do the heavy lifting. Let the universe and God do the heavy lifting for you. So and then you just mind your own happy business. And then here's the other thing, is that once you know somebody operates out of a low vibratory frequency, you would be hella foolish to pick up where you left off with them. You teach somebody how to treat you by staying in that position. You get that? So if you stay in that position, what you did was you didn't love you. You have an inner child you have to take care of. You need to protect that inner child in you. You need to protect you. And if you go back to the same situation, you're not respecting yourself. You're not loving yourself. And whenever you don't respect yourself and you don't love yourself that way, you're teaching somebody how to treat you. So of course they're going to come back and do it again, because they always come back. So, but you need to cut the ties with that person. Cut the ties with those people. And if they happen to be your family, so be it. Just because somebody's family doesn't mean they're going to treat you with respect. You have to treat you with respect. Because at the end of the day, and at the end of your timeline, that dash, born 1970, dash, this date, what you do with that dash determines your quality of life. So if you're busy teaching somebody that you'll just take it on, they're going to dish it. You need to cut that off. If that means gray rocking somebody that you have to work with, then gray rock them. If it means moving away from some place or something, then you move away. Just stop talking to the person. You can go somebody with having to cross paths with them. That's where you develop self-discipline. That's where you develop your own self-mastery here. Because if you can be accountable for your own feelings and your own emotions, that's what self-mastery is. Then it's going to get really hard for anybody to trigger you, because those assholes will still come back and want to trigger you, because they're feeding the low vibratory frequencies of entities that they have become host to, because they've become they've picked up parasites that feed off of that negativity. So not only are you looking at the physiology of somebody, such as a drug addiction, an alcoholic addiction, you're also looking at parasites that's esoterically feeding off that person. That's why we are called to, we are not with the flesh, but with principalities. That's why we're called to pray for somebody. And my prayer for somebody would be for them, to always preface it with God's perfect will in place, and for them to find healing, to come into an alignment with healing, for them to prosper that way, never to prosper in any of their toxic ways. So, but I just really wanted to talk about that, because this has been my secret sauce to me surviving this long with all of these gang stalking fucktards that love to share and gossip about things that are not True. So just be mindful that when you people that have been doing that, gang stalker and otherwise, you take on that energetic debt against your esoteric well-being. And then, God forbid, the person you came sideways at you has found healing and has forgiven you. They don't even have to talk to you about it and have to cut all cords from you. Well, then you stand in ripe alignment to eat brick for brick everything you'd ever done wrong to that person. So for me, it's been an ongoing learning journey, but I would encourage everybody to learn self-mastery. And, you know, for every bully out there that's out there bullying somebody, you are at the mercy of your own ego and you have no self-mastery. None. I mean, because it's like this. If you get pissed off at everything, try to go a day without getting pissed off. Shit, try to go 1 week, a whole fucking month. Do you have enough self-mastery to do that? So just because somebody pay you no mind doesn't mean they're weak. It means they're stronger than you, motherfucker. And God forbid the esoteric balancing forces comes in to settle a debt for them, for who you came sideways at, because they everything about you. So it's an esoteric debt, man. And then so if whenever you choose not to respond and you let them rack up, let the opposition rack up, offense, you know, more debt, and you kept it calm, you kept it cool. It's not so much meaning that you turned the other cheek, it's that you battled this with strategy, with fortitude, with strength, and with savvy. So kind of think it over, because that esoteric debt has got to be discharged somehow for balancing forces to level out. But the trick of it has to be that you have to let go, release it, give it to the universe, give it to God. That's what it means to give it to God. It's not a pussy way out. It's a strong way out. Because once you're able to see it work for somebody else in their lives, you'll see the substance, the substrate that it really is in the ethers, in the 5D, and in the quantum. Because what we're coming up on now is how to energetically leverage the quantum in our favor in upright ways. Because if you can keep your energetic plate clean and just release them, when I say them, all the negative nannies, the negative Nellies, you position yourself for greatness. You position yourself for power. Because power is not just within your physical context of your 3D body. Power also is an energetic cloud that comes off of you. And the more energetic cloud, the more magnetism you have, the more you're able to magnetically draw in the happy things in your life. But you have to position yourself from a power stance of greatness by strategically operating in the vision of what really matters. And it's to keep your energetic plate clean, to mind your vibe, to keep it high, and then schedule in your frustration, schedule in your depression or your sadness at a time that you can let it go and let it out while you're, praying, while you're giving it to the universe, while you're giving it to God. So that's how you give it to God. And then once you release, let go, let God, let the universe do the heavy lifting for you. So at any rate, I'm very passionate about sharing that. And just because I'm still in between worlds here doesn't mean that the energetic balancing forces of the universe are asleep on my behalf. I've been chewing gum and kicking ass for me. So at any rate, thank you for listening. Patricia and Landon Regali, coming at you from a Truman Show concurrently. Somewhere here in the wild web. But as far as all of these energetic, manipulative horrors of trollop, demonic witchy witches, and demonic warlocks, you guys stepped in it real hard, because all of your spell work is just booming right back to you, honey. You shouldn't put out in the world what you don't want to have to deal with for yourself. So all of you assholes that have been lying on me, talking about me behind my back, well, I forgive you, little rat bastards. But you'll have to deal with the balancing forces in my ancestors, because I call karma, because without karma, how's anybody ever going to learn? And so everybody that has spread rumors about me, you guys have that to deal with on your plate. And then if you said I had HIV and told everybody that, guess what? You get HIV. It's just how it works. So, and then we'll all be able to point and laugh at you. I mean, I'm not above pointing and laughing. You guys did it to me, but I don't do it from a mean-spirited place in my heart. I do it because y'all put me through a lot. But it's not anything I would stop and take time to do. If it happens to cross my path, that's another thing, but I'm not going to seek you out. But watch out. Everybody's looking at you all who came sideways at me and behind my back. And you all have a date with your own destiny for all the shit that you guys shuffled my way. So, have fun.